Hey, it's Wolfblood here, and today I'm going to be addressing a question that I've been asked a couple times from a few different people, and that question is, how do people respond to you telling them that you are a furry? And the short answer is quite positively, really. Um, Obviously, random strangers in the street, when I'm walking around wearing my ears and my tail and whatever, they're, like I said in the last video, they'll be like smiling or ignoring me or just off doing their thing. I haven't got any sort of people screaming at me in public or what have you, so I don't think I've really gotten much furry hate in real life. Now, more interesting reaction is, of course, the people that I know telling them that I'm a furry. So far, I don't know if my dad knows. He might haven't talked to him about it, actually. My mum, she literally could not care less. I mean, I sort of showed her this video when I was in her place, and it was just like, oh, that's all kind of cute and whatever. I was just like, yeah, well, I'm sort of quite into this, and she was just like, oh, well, fair enough. And it just continued as that. I don't think she actually knew what a furry was. I don't think she's had any experience, but that was really downplayed, in all honesty. My brother, he thinks I'm weird as hell, but he thinks I'm weird as hell anyway, because I'm weird as hell. So he just sort of took it as, so, Jake, your plans are to run around dressed up as a giant animal and to go to conventions and whatever. I was just sort of like, yeah, that's the crux of it. That's what I'm going to do. And he was just like, well, okay, crack on with it then. So yeah, that's sort of how my family reacted. My friends at college, they were just the same sort of thing. They were just like, Jake, you're weird as hell, but we knew that already, so this really isn't news. A couple of people who did know kind of what a furry was, but had the sort of negative stereotypes that they probably picked up just from, the YouTube comments thread. That's where it's at its worst, 4chan. I don't know where they got it from. They were obviously like, sir, what, you fucking animal costumes? And I had to sort of be like, no, that's not what it's about, sort of explain it, but I think it was generally accepted, and it was just like, whatever, crack on with it then. So most people reacted kind of neutrally, I guess. It was just a case of, fine, why should we care, sort of thing. But by far the most interesting reaction I think I got, and the one I was least expecting, was my girlfriend. So this was literally only a couple weeks after I found out what a furry was, and I sort of decided that I was a furry. I went to her, we were having a conversation, and I tried to sort of gently slide it in. So I was like, do you know what a furry is? And she was just like, yeah, I know quite well what a furry is. And I was just sort of like, well, what do you know a furry to be? And she was like, oh, it's someone that likes, talking animal films and what have you. She gave quite a impressive definition that was quite accurate. And I was just like, oh, well, what do you think of furries, sort of thing? What's your opinion on the matter? And she was just like, Jake, you do realise I'm a furry, don't you? And I didn't know this already. I was just like, you're into all of this, are you? And she was just like, yeah, She even had a fursuit ordered up that was coming on the way. That later fell through because I think it was a scam. I don't know. She's spent 300 quid and it disappeared. Irrelevant. But yeah, so she was sort of like, I'm into all of this as well, like. So, yeah, that was pretty cool, to be fair, because not only did I suddenly, just upon entering the fandom, know another furry, straight upon entering into the fandom, I was dating another furry, which, for a hetero guy in this fandom, is quite lucky, to be fair, actually. 80% male, good luck with that, my friends. So, yeah, so and I'm not saying that, like, everyone is going to react positively. I mean, different people are in different situations here, so I'm not going to say, oh yeah, tell everyone, you're a furry, it'll all be fine, sort of thing. I've actually written about that topic on my Quora blog, again, down in the description. And I'm not going to say that, literally everyone has reacted positively. I have had, a couple of people just like, that's weird or that's wrong or whatever in that sort of sense, and decided that that they didn't like the idea too much. So it's not perfect, is what I'm saying. But I think, for me personally, I'm glad that I tell people about this and I'm open about this. If you are one of these furries that tries to keep it to themselves, maybe because you're young, maybe because you're in different situation to I am, do whatever you think's best. If you don't think people are going to be as supportive as the people around me are, then yeah, maybe you should keep it to yourself. If you're willing to take, a little bit of teasing, a bit of jokes, and a bit of, you're weird as hell, then, you might prefer to maybe tell people. I get the feeling that a lot of people that ask me this question have been sort of like, should I tell people? And really, I can't tell you whether you should or you shouldn't. That was my experience. That's what I've received, but you might get something different. So that's all I can really say about it. It needs to be what situation you're in and what you're willing to tolerate. Because if you're quite a sensitive person, maybe you don't like jokes and teasing and whatever, you might find even the reactions that I've received to be much more negative than how I've experienced them. But if you do decide to tell people, I have good tips for that, again, down in the description. Ultimately, you just want to show it in the best light and be as honest as possible. That's the too long didn't read of that. So yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There will be more coming soon. And I'm going to say, fuzzbutts, brush your bloody suits. I've said it before and I'll say it again, brush them. Never stop brushing your suits. They need brushing. Constantly. Goodbye.